have that.
You gotta pet the pup on the show.
Gotta pet the dog.
You gotta get there. You gotta have fun.
Yeah.
You gotta be happy. We gotta talk about a very awesome, gross movie.
Oh
Very
yeah.
awesome, gross fucking movie. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is episode 2 of It Came from Screambox, presented by WASD and Beyond and Screambox themselves. Check them out for $38 a year. You can have Screambox for a fucking full year for $38. It's a bit redundant that I said it like that. I do not care. That's a crazy deal. Screambox, screaming our movies, not our prices. Insane deal.
That's a lot of movie for $38.
Well, what else
Think
did we
about how
And
discover?
much
and
we
live
yeah.
TV.
Yep.
We
They
discovered
got
Pretty
we got
sick.
prime shows. We got
Anime.
we got classic animes. We got prototype Ghibli movies on there. That's
insane.
crazy. That's
Insane.
wild. I had no idea that was even a thing.
We had a blast after our last recording. We were just sitting there watching. We were like, no, that was after we watched Streettrash, which is what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
We're talking about Streettrash. This is episode 2. We're really going balls to the wall. But yeah, right after that, we were like, oh, what else can we do on this? And then we just looked around and we found that we can just watch
Mhm.
TV. And it was
Well,
sweet.
it's like
It's you.
it's a loop of the movies
Yeah, which is
on
fine.
there, which is so sick.
Yeah, I liked it. And the anime, as you and Alex said, that was fucking sweet. They got Astro
Retro
Boy on
Crush.
there too. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
It was Retro Crush, the name of the
Yeah,
channel
Retro
on
Crush.
there.
I like that a lot. So again, $38 a year. You get like your own horror movie, like nerdy kingdom, basically. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
endless entertainment. The deal is insane. So check out our sponsors, Screambox. And while you're at it, check out the other sponsors of the show, Final Boss Clothing. Let's go. It's just Final Boss. I like to say clothing because that's what I'm rocking right now, dude. This Counter-Strike shit. Insane. I'm a classic Counter-Strike player of 1.6 and Source. I am old. That's how old I am. Not fun to get this old. But check out Final Boss and you look cool looking old. Even if you're young, you'll look cool looking. You know what I mean?
I'm excited to look cool and old.
There you go. Dude, if I dropped like 15 LB, I would look cool and old. Right now, I just look curmudgeon-y and old.
It depends what you say old, because old is like, you know,
Is this subjective?
fully gray. I I don't think
Getting there.
you can be old until you're like above 50.
Okay. Well,
You could be you could be older, but you can't be old until you're like past 50.
you know what, Mr. Krabs? I am feeling it.
Yeah.
I'm out of manual labor
Amen.
now, but I am tired. I'm so tired.
All the time. All the
It's a
time.
different kind of tired.
It is something. The headaches I've
I'd be
had.
tired. I'd be very tired of everything if people were turning into Shamrock Shake in front of me.
Gotta love the Shamrock Shake people. And we're gonna get right
Gotta
into that.
love it.
Also, please check out Doc Longy and the Spawn Camp Discord. All your awesome hip hop needs, dope ass merch, just cool shit. Doc Longy packs the packages full of awesome little goodies. You got posters, you got little cards with the artist's name on it.
I got my Doc sticker.
Doc stickers, man, like it's awesome. Final Boss does the same stuff. You get a bunch of cool stuff on top of the awesome merch. Check them out and join the Discord. It is free. Come have a good time with us. Now let's dive in to this week's It Came from Screambox. This week's movie was Streettrash from 2024, directed by Ryan Kruger. This movie had a budget of $1 million, supposedly. It starred Sean Cameron Michael as Ronald, Donna Cormac Thompson as Alex, and then we got Joe Vaz as Chef, who Chef was an instant favorite of ours. We learned a lot of
I
things
love
about
Chef.
Disney movies that we did not know. That
Yeah,
maybe are
that's
not
so
true.
good.
Maybe they're not true. But this movie was a nonstop gore fest comedy. Like you don't even know where you're going in this film half the time. Like the way it opens you're sitting there going, "Oh, okay, cool. This could be a dope ass like dystopian future esque type film where there's gonna be some body horror." But no, the movie's just like, "Oh yeah, check this out. Everyone's fucking falling apart with this one drug like it's called Viper, and it's to eradicate homeless people and the street trash." And that's major premise of the film. There's obviously a little bit more padding of to what this film is kind of talking about if you want to go that route and talk about like, well, actually it's talking about the disparities between this and that, which I think it does tackle that a bit, but I don't want to really
Yeah.
dive into that just in case people are like, well, that's a bit shallow and pedantic of you, Peter Griffin.
I find this shallow and pedantic.
But this was a knockout hit for me. Street Trash from start to finish, like I said, was a gore fest. The comedy was top notch. The effects were top notch. The story was so fun to just be along for the ride with. I mean, to the point where there is what was the off camera character's name?
His name is
Oh,
Awfully.
Awfully. I mean, we
Yeah.
are awfully, right? So like that was cool. The fourth wall breaks. I- The movie just has it all. Like, and again, for the budget of $1 million, this blew me away. So, I, I'll go deeper into it, but I want to let one of you start and just really dive in. Which one do you want to go first?
You go ahead, Alex.
go. Okay.
Alex
Uh,
is like, why me?
yeah, just it's a great flick, all around fun. They used every bit of that $1 million, mostly on Shamrock Shake and Ivan Ooze's purple. Uh,
Has come.
I didn't want to say it.
You could say it. This is an R-rated show. Sponsors.
Screambox said we can talk about whatever we want, and,
Yep.
and you better believe we're gonna.
uh, the two brothers that made what was the drug they made?
Oh, it
It
was
was like
made out
it,
of
Oh,
cat shit or cat piss.
yeah.
It was basically that skit from
it,
South Park.
Uh-huh.
it really was.
They were cheesing.
They were cheesing, yeah.
Cheesing.
They were
Those
great.
Yes.
I did love those two brothers a lot. They were
The twins.
hilarious.
Yep.
The twins, yep. Even though
Yep.
they do not look anything alike.
No, they're just two guys.
Two guys. Um, just what the gore, every bit of that gore. Some perfect head cutoffs, like beheadings.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh yeah.
head explosions. Like that's a thing in award shows is who has the best head explosion, and this would be in that list
Oh yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Um I really enjoyed it. The thing like that I keep on thinking about today because I knew we were recording today. The thing I was thinking about like I used to go to movies all the time and I really haven't been and I want to fix that, but like the biggest thing that you see in this movie, you can tell everybody is having such a good time.
Yes.
And I feel like that's just
Yep.
something you don't see that in big budget movies with like real famous actors. It's just like they're just doing the role, but when you see like people where it's like, yeah, I see this guy's making a movie, but next week he's probably going back to his job at the deli or whatever.
Yeah, dude.
Like this is they're not doing it to grab a check or whatever. They're doing it. This is like a passion project, and this movie
Mhm.
is so clearly like one guy's vision that's been like a collaboration between people. Like the awfully stuff is I think some of my favorite parts of the movie where it'll be like cinematic normal stuff like normal camera angles and then a character will just do a turn look at the camera and they'll be like what are you doing here and it'll just like stick out the hand and it's like it's so good. It's so funny and so like well thought out.
The one part where like when the shit starts hitting the fan
Yeah.
hard,
Yeah.
uh, Awfully disappears, and they're like, "Where are you?" And he's just over in a corner fist
Yeah, he's
fighting
just
people,
hiding.
and he's just fist fighting two police officers, and then they're like, "Come on!" And he's like, "Oh, thumbs up," and then takes off.
Dude,
So
It's
good.
it the character of Awfully is such an interesting thing in this movie. Same with 2-Bit. That
oh,
I mean that all gets explored. But um the Awfully thing is probably my favorite part of the movie. Just like little running gag that they keep like it feels like a Family Guy joke
it
almost or like a
does.
South Park joke. And I'm that's so my humor, and just being like, yeah, there's a character in this movie who sometimes is the cameraman. You don't know when we're awfully or when we're just watching the movie happen.
Yeah.
I just love that. I can't say enough good about that.
There were plenty of those like camera like shot like crazy awesome shots, right? And like a lot of it was like comedically done, such a perfect way. Like the biggest example of that is, and this may be spoilery, so this movie's been out for about a year. So if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry, but you should go see this film. But there's a whole like
It's Screambox and watch it.
38
That's right.
bucks a year, you can watch this film. Um at code SB 38. But do that. Do that.
That's important.
do that.
That's
Do that.
important. I don't think you've said that in any of the ad read until now.
Really doing it. But there is like this whole like plotting scene, right, where they're trying to like get a plan together. And like it's just like a classic tropey scene, but it's so perfectly done with like the camera shots and like no, but we're not gonna do it like this. We're gonna do it like this, and then it shoots to how they're actually doing it in real time. Then he's like, no, 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 that's not gonna fucking work. And then it goes back, and he's like, well, why can't you do it? He goes, I can't stand for too long. You're standing now. The camera cuts right back, and chef is sitting
Yeah,
down.
it's so funny.
We all like had to like watch that scene like twice because we were just cracking
Yeah.
up. But like, it's things like that where no, like with what Noah said was like they were having a blast on set. Like everything was over the top in such a magnificent fashion. Like, and it didn't take itself too seriously. Like there is a message. Like horror films, people don't realize like a lot of them do have messages. There's a lot of like underneath it all. It's like this is a result of this. Therefore, this is this. And if you do this, this will happen, right? But like this was like this is real shit. But also we're gonna like poke fun at everything. Like nothing was safe in this film, and I loved that. And there was a couple parts like with the mayor, especially where it felt too close to like what we are living through in America right now with
Mhm.
you know the orange guy. So I was sitting there going, man, this kind of feels icky, but like good. Like that's what this film did such a good job of that. Where it's like, ugh. It's like I hate this, but I love it because just how it's done, how it's perfectly balanced. Like the comedy mixed with all the top gore. Like Sokol is one of my
There it is.
like listen,
Yeah, we love them.
listen. Screambox, Ryan Kruger. I don't know who I have to fucking like talk to, but I need a Sokol in my room.
How do we get Sokol? We got you know who you gotta talk to.
Hmm.
You gotta talk to a puppet pal.
Ooh, my puppet pal
Because
Sokol, he would do it.
Sokol is a puppet.
He is a puppet.
I mean, that's another thing. It like that kind of segues into like all the effects and talking about all the effects in this movie.
Yeah.
So good. So clearly very talented people. You got Sokol, who is a puppet. I love a puppet.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
where are you?
Ew, look at that
There he
Kermie.
is. Yeah, love myself a puppet. Um, it was all practical. Like, I think even the drone effect is done practically.
It was yeah, but it was done practically in like an indie sort of way, which I loved.
Yeah.
Like it was cheesy, quote unquote, for those not watching, but it wasn't. It was fun. Like
Mhm.
even that, I was like, wow, this is hilarious. This is all done in such like an awesome practical way where I'm like, this fucking rules.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Alex has a thought.
I don't want to spoil anything. It has something I'll ask later.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fine if you want to ask it towards the end of the episode.
I think we
cool.
do our best to keep it unspoiled. I mean, talking about like certain characters, I don't think is a spoiler,
We
but
won't
like,
go into what Sokol really is, other than it's a
yeah,
puppet in the movie, and
yeah.
this movie has great nudity in it. I'm gonna say that.
You're a big fan.
I'm a big fan of full
I
frontal.
only remember the
Dude,
one part.
There's
Officer Boner.
Officer Boner, bro.
Officer Boner.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But
I would call that. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, all the characters, it's so good. All the effects are so good. Um, it's a pretty decent story. Like, it's pretty well thought out.
Yeah.
Um, you can definitely tell that again. You can definitely tell that they cared a lot for what they were making.
Every minute you could tell. It's
Oh
so
yeah.
definitely trauma nerds growing
Oh
up
yeah. Absolutely.
making this. They were definitely some trauma nerds,
And you know what?
which
It's
is
really
not a bad
good.
thing.
It's really good to know that that there's still stuff being made that way.
Mhm.
Just super indie underground, like guerrilla style filming and movie
It
making and
doesn't
advertising.
feel that way. It
It
doesn't feel that way while watching it. It feels like an
yes.
A budget film.
I would have
Yeah.
Like
loved
they
to see this
used
in film, in theaters.
100%. This will never make it to theaters though.
You
I
know,
don't know. Eh,
Cineverse,
So
dude.
this one didn't get a theatrical run, I don't think, but I think they showed it at like some festival.
Yeah, I'm
probably.
sure they showed it at festivals. I think it probably hit all the circuits, but like I would love to see this, like, because Cineverse is doing amazing things, obviously, with Toxic Avenger.
Yeah. Hmm.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Cineverse. They single handedly pulled that movie out from hell. Thank you very much for that. But this is just, even if you're not into gore, which I want to get back to that in a moment. Like if you're not into like over the top gore, violence, and just like extreme like profanity, full frontal nudity, over the top gore, and like all of that, this is a fun flick to watch, even if
Oh
you're
yeah.
not into it, because it tackles so many different things and is done so well. Where there is this charm about the film where you almost are like, I'm not watching like a horror movie. Like I'm just
Watching
walk.
a bunch of friends
I'm.
actually
Yeah.
deal with shit.
There's a problem in front of them, and they're like, "How are we gonna solve this?" And it's like, "Well, we can't solve it because everyone's melting." Which again, I do want to touch on that. The thought of like Viper, that drug, it comes out as a mist, or like you eat it, whatever. You guys will see when you watch the film. But like the thought of like being so, like, just what it does to your insides, and like every time it cuts to like this face peel, or like an ankle snap, or like these wild things, like so many wild kills, and like you
Bubbles.
fucking bubbling up under it's the practical effects here on full display in such beautiful fashion that it's hard not to love this movie. That's another charm of it though. It's like Noah brought up, like, even like that drone in the film is not CGI, more than likely, right there. Like it
Yeah.
just has this love letter to filmmaking, old school video nasties as well. Um,
Hmm.
that it's just hard to look away. It's hard not to come away from this film going, "That was great," because I mean, immediately I just came away and I was like, I loved every fucking moment of that. And as a child, I remember seeing Streettrash from '87. So
Yep.
I mean, so
As a child.
my uncle Keith was a pretty dope ass dude, bro.
I mean, that's sick that he had it. Um,
Yes,
why I have a bit of information about the story of Street Trash, like the
this
story of
one.
how we got here. But we could save that for the end,
Okay.
because it contains something that I definitely think we should watch and that people should watch if they like movies like this. But we'll touch on that after.
Yes, absolutely, dude. I mean, to surmise my thoughts on this film, and then I'll let you guys do it, and then we'll give it our popcorn bucket rating, I guess. This was a fun time. This was a good feeling movie, even if it was over the top gross in the best ways, over the top violent, super chaotic, um, incredibly vulgar. It's very offensive, and I loved every fucking moment. There is nothing not to love here. Even if you aren't into this type of film, you will find something here that will make you laugh, that will make you get one of those gross out moments where you're kind of looking at the screen going, ugh, like it's just those moments that
if
really
if you can
feel good.
handle it and last,
Oh yeah,
you know.
And
How many people joined and
yeah.
left?
We had some people coming and going from from that movie.
that is true. But again,
But if you're on Screambox,
this
Yeah.
is
you like it.
if you love horror movies. If you have Screambox, which you should have, code SB38. Yeah, it wasn't that sneaky. It wasn't that coy.
That's true. Well, it would have been sneaky, but then you called it out.
I always do that on the show. I was like, yeah, 10 minutes before we fucked it up. We had to redo it. Brody's like, why did you tell the audience that? Yeah,
They didn't know.
A little bit
Peek
honest.
behind the curtain.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just great. If you love horror movies, if you love body horror, if you love video nasties, and if you love callbacks to that style of filmmaking, and it's the film that feels awesome, this is for you. Watch this movie, boys.
You want to go first, Alex?
Go on,
Okay,
Noah.
all right. I really loved it. Great effects, great comedy. Pretty decent story for a movie like this. You can definitely they made an homage to the original one, which I appreciated, especially after doing a little bit of research. Um, yeah, it's just overall really good time. Love a South African accent.
Yeah.
Think think Andy Serkis if you don't know what that sounds like.
Yep.
So that was cool. Also, everybody the director is South African, and everybody in the movie is South African as well.
That's awesome.
So you support local and all that, but it's good. It's cool to see something like that. It's very much feels like they made it where they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I had a really good time. I think if you got some friends together, get together, like watch all the gross out horror and scream at your computer about it. Like, it's awesome.
Alex,
It's top tier fun all around. I mean, we were all saying that as soon as we got done watching it. That was just fun.
Yeah.
The story and narrative is actually really good once you start paying attention to get past the leaking necks. Practical effects, if you love practical effects more than anything, watch this because it's practical effects from beginning to end, except maybe a couple parts. I'd give it a fat 5 out of 5.
Hey.
Oh yeah.
Like for real, it's a solid flick.
Let's go. Noah, your rating? Oh, Alex. Alex has one more thing to say.
Nothing. I'm just leaning in.
You're a fucking weirdo. Why'd you do that? You freaked me out.
Because he's excited. He's excited about our ratings. I'd probably give it like a 4 out of 5.
Okay.
Just because we got to have somewhere to go.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I think I would have liked to seen a little bit more variety in the effects if I had any criticism, because a lot of the time it's a similar effect that you're seeing. But that's the plot.
Yeah.
So I would give it a 4 out of 5.
Streettrash, it's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. There are a couple of effects, as Noah said. I would have liked to see just a little bit more. Like, what we see is amazing. That's not a criticism. I want more. Like, I wanted more because it was just that good. But there's just a few times where I'm like, man, I feel like they could have gone maybe a little grosser there, or they could have maybe did a different effect here and there. And then Sockle, I want more Sockle.
Yeah.
And I want more 2-Bit because 2-Bit is such an amazing. There's also a character that goes that I didn't want to go. That really pissed all of us off.
Let's not.
I'm not gonna. But 2-Bit is amazing. One of my favorite characters in this. Yeah, I love the story. I love the effects. Just wanted more. I think wanted a little bit more. But I mean, still, this movie is bordering on a perfect rating for our. It came from Screambox rating. We'll have to figure out a rating system and all that shit eventually here. But we've just started. So 4.5, 4, and a 5. What does that round out to be, boys?
That probably averages out at a 4.
At a 4? Okay. So this movie gets 4 neck bursting pustules out of 5.
Ugh.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
There you go. We'll do a little bit of a Joe Bob thing. Because Joe Bob will do that at the end. I love Joe Bob so much. Anyways. Noah.
Yes.
Let's cap this off I thought you were doing something weird, Alex. I'm like, you can't pull your dick out while we record. I was like, you can't do that, dog. He did not.
I'm just chilling, dude.
He's like, stop calling me out, bro. Can we get some facts? We'll do this pretty much every episode where Noah will have facts.
Definitely. So I did a little bit of digging in here, and so basically, like Nick, you had mentioned there was an original in 1987 that was directed by J. Michael Murrow, and in that movie, the premise was that a liquor store in Brooklyn was selling poisoned alcohol to homeless people. It was originally it's a 10-minute short film that Murrow made for his graduate thesis from the New York
Sweet.
School of Visual Arts.
Hilarious.
And after he graduated, he got $30,000 from a donor, and then he went to one of his teacher, a guy called Roy Frumps. I can't say his name. It's like Frumkes, like Frumkes, something like that. Yeah, something. So he went to Roy,
There you go.
who came on as a producer and a writer. So he like zhuzhed up the script a little bit and like padded it out and made it more into a thing. That original also has like its big effect was they had a fat guy who would explode.
Yes.
And that was actually done by a cake company called Drake's Cakes. And if you think if like they're sort of like a Little Debbie or Entenmann's kind of brand. It's kind
Okay.
is Entenmann's local? Is that too local of a reference?
I think it might be a little bit too
okay.
low.
Well, it's like a cheap like a ho-ho kind of
yeah, okay.
maker. Like they make that kind of stuff. So then that movie released and it had like a bit of a cult following.
Yep.
In 2005, they remastered it and put it out on DVD. There was a documentary made called Meltdown Memoirs by Roy Frumks, and that documentary was about the movie, and it has like interviews from the cast and also the 16 millimeter short film version of Streettrash, like the original.
Oh,
sick.
we are
So
watching that.
we gotta hunt that down. In terms of reception, there was a critic from the New York Times who said, "This is a quote: It claims no redeeming social value, and you don't have to be a Supreme Court nominee to question whether the founders could have foreseen anything like it when they wrote the First Amendment."
That is awesome.
That is, I don't. This guy, some hoity-toity film critic who's out here watching like movies that are beating you over the head with like a message, is looking at this, and he literally is doing the Peter Griffin thing.
It was
He's
a
like,
bobsled. It was
it's shallow and pedantic. It's crazy, but so we can get a hold of this, I'm sure. In 2010, they released a 2 DVD box set in the UK that had the original and the documentary in one set, and then that again has been released on Blu-ray in multiple countries. And Roy was an EP on the sequel movie. He's still at it. He's still making Streettrash.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
awesome.
That's
absolute
wild.
legend of the game, dude.
Oh,
that's crazy.
It's awesome.
Dude, can't let it go.
Hey, why would you, dude? He's got like, and they set up. There's a little bit of setup for a potential sequel in this one.
I will cry.
I would love that. I would love that.
Oh, the amount of stuff. Well, yeah, coming back home.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
dude.
Yeah,
They could, we got, there's information about the new Toxie. It's looking like it's going in a different direction.
Hey,
who's to say? Although this does take place way in the future.
Is it ever described when this takes place?
2050.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so who knows? But
yeah.
I mean, you get it.
Yeah. Get it, and it's good.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So, do you have any more facts, Noah, or is that it?
No, that's it. That's all I got. We got to track down that documentary, though. I have to see it.
That is a must. That documentary.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking up as soon as I hit
the box set. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Physical media all the fucking way.
I love physical media.
As we're doing a stream.
Well, we have to, but like if you look around all of our rooms,
I mean,
physical media everywhere. Man, this movie was a trip. You know what we got to do now?
What do we gotta do?
We got to watch Fried Berry,
There it is.
Okay,
Ryan.
we
But
can
that's
do
not
that one
that's not
next.
that's not on Screambox though.
Oh well, then no, we can't watch
But
that.
I do believe the original Streettrash is on Screambox.
Oh, yeah, we gotta watch that. We
Gotta watch it.
gotta figure out what we're gonna watch next.
We do. And with that being said, that'll cut it for this week's.
I
Yes,
have
Alex.
an idea.
Oh,
Sorry.
Alex has
For,
an idea.
for figuring out something to watch, you know, all those like online roulette wheels that you can do.
Oh yeah, we could do
Oh.
that.
You just fill it up and spin that bitch, and
We
bing,
can
we
do
should
that.
go with it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Screambox. See, we're nothing but an ideas factory, dude. We're doing it. We got this.
We're putting out the hot, fresh ideas.
We are gonna get better every week. So please don't drop us. Don't or do. We got some good emails. We got some good correspondence. Don't drop us, please.
That's
We're
sick,
breaking out of
dude.
our shell.
Oh man, that is a good idea, Alex. I think we're gonna have to put that to fruition.
Yeah,
Maybe
absolutely.
weekend we'll get together and figure that out. All right. Now, with that being said, that'll wrap this week's It Came from Screambox. Thank you, Screambox, for sponsoring this. Thank you, Cineverse, for allowing us to let the audience know that they can go see The Toxic Avenger in theaters August 29th, 2025. Toxie mops his way into theaters. Go see The Toxic Avenger. Go fucking see The Toxic Avenger. Starring Peter Dinklage, Kevin Bacon, and Elijah Wood. You're
That's crazy.
out of your fucking mind. Out of your fucking
These are the
mind.
movies. These are the movies that those guys want to make. They are not grabbing a check. This is a passion project for them.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody needs
Back,
to go.
back to just having fucking fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you, Cineverse.
absolutely.
Thank you, Cineverse, so much for, and I thank you for letting me promote this and letting these boys promote that. We are all Toxic Avenger fans. We love the
Dude.
monster. We love Toxie, and we are with Toxie. So again, thank you all for listening. Thank you, Screambox. Thank you, Cineverse. Thank you, The Toxic Avenger. Thank you, Final Boss, Doc Longy, and to the Spawn Camp. See you guys next week with another gross out film. Take it easy.
Thank you, Screambox.
Thank you. Code SB38 for a year.
That's
Bye.
right. Hell yeah, baby.